Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat. So who else has this? I even have more of this stuff. It's just, why, sometimes it's like, why? So anyway, we all have this stuff that we keep because we're going to make journals out of it or whatever. These were dyed by my friend Denise. But anyways, so I have some that are just my envelopes, and then these are all junk mail envelopes. You can see a lot of them were opened or whatever. There's, yeah, the Walgreens bags. This is one of those little food bags. Not food bags. Flatware, you know, that your fork and knife and all that came in during, you know, that horrible time of our lives where we were all getting sick. Yeah, and then just my sister also brings me her junk mail. So I have a lot. Let me just say I have a lot. And so I was playing around yesterday a little bit, and I thought I would continue playing because I was like, hey, I bet this is something that a lot of people would like to see. So what do you do with junk mail envelopes, or just envelopes in general, because we all keep envelopes? You can definitely use them in, you know, journals as pages or whatever like that. Just a minute. I also made this for a short, but I know some people don't like the shorts and don't watch them. So this is a junk mail envelope that all I did is take one of my Halloween images and glued it to the backside of the junk mail envelope. So you could see her through the plastic, and then I just collaged all over it and turned it into a greeting card. So you could make greeting cards out of these. Just cut them to the size that you want them, and voila. This also, obviously, loads of people like Gail Augustinelli and everybody does this type of thing to put in journal pockets, or you can put it on a page. For example, say this was a journal page, you could go like this if it was the right size, and paper clip it on, you know, all those kind of things. You can do loads of stuff with these. But I thought, and this isn't a novel idea either, because loads of people have done this type of envelope journal, but we're just going to use envelopes. Now we will decorate the envelopes with papers like digitals or scrap paper or whatever. You could just use all scraps. You could do this and use all scraps to get rid of stuff. So anyhow, we're going to cut some of these envelopes open to make them like pages, you know, that open and close themselves. Carol Laws has done things similar to that. I can't think of the other lady's name that does a lot of these type of journals. And a lot of people have done these, and then they add paper in the middle. This one's just going to be all envelopes. So I'm just going to kind of show you how I did this, and we're just going to play with it. So I'm just going to take these out for now. I was just trying to get ideas of what I might want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that the way it was, just so I can remember. So like, for example, this one I might leave as a, like cut down just one side and have it as a pocket and glue it into this spot instead of having it as pages. Like if you cut down this side, and down this side, it'll open like pages, right? But you're also not going to get it to attach in there, right? Because this whole piece will not be attached. You can also cut down this side and down this side, and it'll just flap open, which is probably the better way of doing it. But I'm going to just open one side and have it more like a great big pocket. And then if you make a journaling card or something like that for this one, because this window is just so big, I just worry about it being like a page itself. The big problem is going to be making sure this gets glued in here straight all the way across, so that you don't end up with it hanging wonky out the bottom. Do you see down here where it's hanging out the bottom of the page? You don't want it like that. You want it lined up with the envelope. So we need to cut it first. I almost glued it, and then I was like, oh, don't do that. You'll be sorry. Okay, so we're keeping our flap. Like sometimes you want to cut the flaps off. We're going to keep that flap. And we're just going to cut the littlest sliver off of this. And don't worry about, I mean, I'll measure these. But you don't have to be super specific on size. Oh, that's not gonna work. It's just folding it over. I'll just do it with scissors. Because you can use any long envelopes. I'm just using long envelopes. But I'll measure these great big ones. Those were gifted to me. And I'm not really sure where you can get them, but I'm going to guess that if you go to an office supply store, if you don't have any long ones like that, that you can probably find them. And if not, you can just use these longer junk mail envelopes. You don't have to have the great big long ones. They could all be the same size for all that matters. It really doesn't matter. It's just what I had. So I'm going with it. So how are you guys all doing? I am doing good. Just getting all my stuff done. Oh, hugs and blessings to Nancy P. and Tracy and who else? I thought I wrote somebody else down. I can't think off the top of my head right now. I'm so sorry. But thank you to all of you who leave comments, kind comments. I so appreciate it. And like I said, if you don't hear your name on the Super Thanks thing, the next time you will. It's just, I'm kind of filming a bunch of videos ahead right now because we're taking my son to school. And I just want to make sure I got, you know, lots of time to get some stuff done. So, I mean, we won't be gone long, but it's just we're going to be packing and doing all that stuff for him. Okay, this is going to be the tricky part because I don't really want to pull this back out because I kind of have it good. So I'm just going to look inside of my envelope and try to get all the little edges. You want to get all the edges the most with the glue. That's the most important part so that you don't start catching an edge and tearing it with a tag or whatever. So just try to take a minute and open it up and get the glue in everywhere. But yeah, so I just wanted to get some videos done so that I could, you know, help him do whatever he's got to get done. And then just try to make sure it stays even with your envelopes, because if it gets out of whack, you're going to have an out of whack page. And then we want to lift this up real quick too from the back so that we're not gluing this envelope to the back of that one. Let's see, like that. So if you look in there, it's just all glued down, and I'm actually going to take this one out. You're just putting flaps in flaps, basically, is all it is. Oh no, that did not get straight. I just realized it was up too high this way. See, you just got to be really careful when you're first putting them in there. And this is the first time I've done one like this. I've done other sort of envelope things, but so I guess we're just going to get our glue on here and then I'll figure it out. Especially when your edge is all ripped like that, it'll become a snagging problem. So you got lots of things to worry about here when you're first putting these envelopes together. Getting them together and making sure they're not in too far, out too far. And if I close it, I want to make sure that it's in there far enough. Is that right? I think. Hopefully we got all that down. Okay, so I'm going to look in here and I'm going to see, like, see there's a little loose flap, so we're going to get that glued down. I know this seems like a pain, and at first it probably will be, but I think if you like doing these fun flappy flippy journals, that I mean, it's not so hard that it can't be done. It's just you got to pay attention to what you're doing, that's all. Okay, so big thing is you don't want it hanging down too low down here where it's not even, and you don't want to, you know, so that this can't close, because that's going to become your spine. So you don't want to make that so it's not working properly, and you don't want to stick it to that back there. So there's a few things to think about. I was also thinking it might be good, or it might behoove us, to have a little bit of a spine on this, if we can, just so that, you know, there's a little gusset room in there, instead of, so basically I'm going to use this line on my table to try to figure out where it's straight. I think that will work. Okay, and then you're going to come and you just want to put some glue on this flap, and then we'll do the one on the inside too. So then you're going to have to score a little bit and make sure that, you know, it'll close up and stuff. I'm just making a little gusset in it, and I'll show you in just a second. Just let me get this part glued. Actually, maybe I better fold it first. Let me get my the steps, right? It's always a process to figure out how to put things together. It's never just glue it together and voila. There's always some finagling that goes on. So basically what I'm doing, and you can kind of see it down here a little bit better. See how I've got this little, like, that's not even, that's like a 1/4 inch gusset. So you're not going to be able to make a big fat journal, but you can definitely give yourself a little more room so that once you add papers and stuff, you're not ending up with something that you can't even close. Okay, and then see, so now you can see it a little bit better, and I did not get that 100% straight. The other thing is envelopes aren't straight. It seems like they should be, but they're not. So I'm going to glue that, and then I'm going to glue the other side. And I've got my edges. Just make sure this edge and this edge of both are roughly the same. And you could do, if you wanted to, just glue this part of it, and you could turn that other part into a little tuck. Do I want to do that, or do I just want to cover it? I think I'll just cover it. If we want to add a tuck, we can add a tuck. But you could have a little tuck back there. So basically it's get your envelopes out and just play and see what you come up with. I mean, honestly, a lot of these are just junk mail. Like literally probably could have gone into the trash, and we just saved them from the trash. So if you end up throwing them away after the fact, well, I guess that's where they were meant to go. Take this one out, and we're going to have to do a score again, but first we're going to put glue on the back of this so it'll glue to the inside front of that. I know, it's all very confusing. You're just using the flaps to hold it together. You could do the same thing with like scrap paper or coffee dyed paper, because you know how sometimes you rip the whole flap off the envelope or whatever when you open it. You can also just add some coffee dyed paper and have the same effect. Okay, so now I have to score this because figuring out where to score it. Right there. So we're going to score it where it was already scored. This one's scored, but the flap behind is not. So actually maybe I should go like this so that I get... That should fold right there. I think it's just going to need some help, so we're just going to score it again. Oops. Okay, so now you can probably see my little, it's about a 1/4 inch. I didn't measure it, so, you know, just do it however it works for you. Just making a, just gonna fold right there at all. So see, we need to make that better. I don't like that. It's being difficult. Probably would have been smart to do this part before putting that white envelope in. So that's a live and learn moment. So put your 2 outside envelopes together first, and then you can add the other envelope. It'll just make it easier to fold it, score it, and all that. Come on, you stinky little thing. I mean, once you get your score lines in there real good, your fold lines, it will work. You see what I mean? It's just, you just gotta play with it to get it so it knows that's its new shape. Okay, so those are glued to make basically our cover. Then we're just going to add envelopes, other envelopes inside of here. So this one we already have cut open for a pocket. And then what you'll do is take some kind of decorative paper or whatever, cover it and cover this. You could actually cover this part too. Just don't glue right here in this little area. I don't know if you can see. That's where the fold is. Don't put glue here because otherwise you're closing up that pocket, and you don't want to close that in up. I mean, oh boy, here. Trying to explain things sometimes I'm not very good at. Other times I'm fine. But okay. So what I'm saying is put glue right up to your fold here. You're going to put glue here. Otherwise, if you put glue on this part, you're going to close the back part of this pocket. See? And you don't want to do that. You want it open to the fold. So, okay, I think we got it now. And then I have other envelopes that I can put, like I can put another one here. I'll get rid of this one because that's going to get too confusing. So that's just, this is just another regular envelope. It's fighting with me. And yes, that is going to cover up your window, but you know, when you have the page here, you'll be able to see whatever's in there. You turn the page. So this one I am going to make into, how am I going to do that? I want it to be more like a page. So I think what we'll do cut this little part. The small scissors, not big scissors. Jiminy Christmas. Okay, so I'm cutting that part off of both sides. So I want this to open all the way out. So I need to cut down this side and cut down this side. And then it'll be sort of like its own sheet of paper. I guess I could have, well, that's fine. You can cut down the side first and then cut those little flaps off that I just cut off, however you want to do it. I just have to make it difficult. And we're going to cut down this side. These would be great Christmas gifts. You know, you could decorate them all up for Christmas and gift them to friends, you know, and it's not expensive. It's junk mail envelopes. So, or, you know, family members too. It's not, you can, I have somebody in the family that really likes journals. So this will all become a page, you know, that you can write in or whatever. Put some decorative paper on it. I don't know why it is being so difficult right there. You might want to just pull this out a tiny bit. Like, I know this is so hard to see. I'm going to ink this just so you can see what I'm talking about. Because I can't hardly see what I'm talking about, and I'm not in TV land. So, put it in here all the way to the top on this one, just so you've got some staggering, so everything's not down at one end and making it really, like, you know, too heavy on one end or the other. So I'm just going to pull that out a tiny bit, even more, because I want to see that line. Otherwise it's not going to fold and go around that other envelope. You see what I'm saying? It needs to go over that other envelope, but again, you don't want it tilting sideways. So my best advice is to even it up to this top line. That way you can deal with it a little bit better. I'm not gonna be able to do it like that. Trying to figure out the easiest way to glue them. I think the easiest way is just to do the way we did the first one. Okay, so the tricky part of this is you don't want to bring glue up to this part, or you're going to glue your flap down. So you just want to go under and just get the whole inside part of that flap. This may just end up being a disaster, you guys. I have no idea, but I'm trying to use up some of these envelopes. Let's see, I just moved it. So probably, I guess, just put the glue on and then put it in there. Get that closed good. Don't push down on anything until you get this all evened up. Okay. Okay, so now this one will open and open out. You could attach another envelope to it if you wanted to, like this one, which is what the way I had it. So if you attach this one onto the other one, you're going to end up with something that folds out like this, and then could potentially fold, oopsies, fold out further. And I'm not worried that they're not the exact same size. That's fine with me. And see, this is still going to work even though this envelope now, if you look on the side, see how this envelope sticks out over this envelope? You're not going to be able to do that if you have all the same size envelopes. That's why it's good to have these larger size. Oh, I was going to measure those for you, wasn't I? Where's my ruler? Oh, I don't know where my ruler is. I have this one, but I don't like it because I have trouble reading it. So these are about 10 1/4 by, they're probably 4 3/4 because we have our little 1/4 inch gusset. So 4 3/4 by 10 1/4, is that what I said? Yeah, 4 3/4 by 10 1/4 is the size of those big envelopes. It's not that you can't do one if you don't have the big envelopes. You're just not going to be able to do every single thing exactly like I'm doing it because, you know, otherwise you're going to have that piece hanging out of your book. So it's just however you want to do it. I'm trying to decide, do I want to cut this one down the side? No, that won't work. I keep forgetting if I do that, I lose this back flat. So I could do this one the same way I did this one, and then it would be a really unfoldy thing. I'm going to do that. This is just one that I've coffee dyed. I'm going to try to use my cutter again and see if it'll do the short side. It's just easier when it works. Yay! Thing really doesn't like long pieces of paper or anything for that matter. So now see, this one will open out all the way. And then we're just going to get rid of those little tabs again because you don't need that. And that's just another thing to try to cover that's a pain in the rump. So we'll just get rid of them. I'm just going to cut all the way down this side. I don't like those little pokey bits either. I don't understand why some things are on envelopes the way they are. All right, so now, and we'll put some glue because when you coffee dye, all this stuff comes loose. All this gobbledygook right here. Oh my gosh, 28 minutes already. Yeesh. So then I'm just going to attach this one to that one. And so it goes on and on and on. I'm going to take that off because I know that's going to be about useless. It's not even very sticky anymore, so I'm just going to put glue on this since we don't have to try to tuck it inside of another envelope. We will retrace our steps momentarily. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how did I want it right up to the line here, and I want to try to make it even. These envelopes are not the same size, so we need to try as we might. And you want to make sure your fold lines aren't going to get messed up like that. And the other issue with coffee dye is it's ripply. So, I don't know why we're not going to get a thunderstorm. My lights just did that blinky thing, and it's real hot. Okay, so now on this one, it'll open a lot, like see? And you got one window up high, one window down low. You can do it however you want. If you want your windows going the same, or at the same spots, you'll have to figure all that out. I'm not going to worry about that because it's fine to me if they're staggered or whatever. That one almost doesn't fit, but it does. So winning. Okay, there's that side. So those will all get covered, and that's going to make it thicker. And then when you stick, like this one is going to be a pocket, so you're going to stick something inside of there. That's going to make it thicker. And if we add, you know, a pocket on here, you could technically keep this as a pocket on both sides. That would be kind of cool because it's kind of like a little hidey pocket, but it would hold a lot. So this is just another junk mail envelope. How do I want this one? Like we could put one of those Walden bags on one of these side pages. That would work. You're messing with me, man. So you have to make sure that your fold areas are free. So don't stick this envelope out over where it's folding right there. It needs to stay that direction enough so that you can open and close it. Oh, what am I going to do to this one? Let's make it a top loading one, so it just goes from the top down. You could coffee dye all of them first if you want to do like that, and then, you know, that's going to minimize how much covering you're going to need. I need to cut. I cannot cut straight. I'm telling you. Because you'll just want to cover up, like, maybe, you know, addresses and things like that. But if you don't want to cover that stuff, you don't have to. So now you're going to see this is like a big flappy thing, but we can make it so it'll just be a top loading pocket. So I just want to line it up again like I had it before I realized I hadn't cut it open yet. Yeah, I don't even know how I'm going to decorate this yet. I started messing with these envelopes and away I went, since that's how I roll. I have no real control over the muse or whatever you want to call it. I mean, I suppose I could force it to do what I want it to do, but that just never works out well for me. That's the same reason I don't do like identical journals multiple times and stuff like that. I just can't do it. I don't know. I wish I could. I wish I could make just a whole stack of journals with the same digital kit and all that. I just can't do it. We need to come back here a little bit more. Okay. Hopefully this is still right. Seems to be pretty good on there. Can't see. I think it's good. Okay, so that's gonna get all nice and glued, and then what was I gonna say? I'm gonna glue this because that's bugging me. See, envelopes are kind of a disaster all on their own. When we cover this part, this back part of the envelope, we'll put a little glue right up to the edge again, and whatever we cover this with will seal that up. So not gonna worry about that. I had this little guy inside of that one, didn't I? Or no, it was over the top. So it was like this. I think I got these from Dee Dee Farago. Hi, Dee Dee. Yeah, she sent me these a long time ago, and I'm finally using them. This, yeah. When they get dyed, a lot of times they come undone, but it's easy to fix. The dye just makes the sticky not stick anymore. Did I just... Yeah. You don't want to glue your envelope shut, though. Oh, yeah. Don't put glue across there like I did one. Okay. Now this one can go in here. Just have to make sure that it lines up. So I'm going to go ahead and put the glue on this flap first. I'm just using art glitter glue. I know I don't have it in the art glitter glue bottle, but that's what's in here. I like Scotch Create and art glitter glue, but there are some issues at the moment with Scotch Create. I do not know what's going on with the glue. What's going on with everything? But anyway, it's on Amazon apparently being difficult. People order what they think is the 4-pack of the sticks of this Scotch Create glue, and then they're only getting one glue stick. I don't know, for like $10.99. It's like, that's ridiculous. But I also heard that Fabri-Tac, which I don't use, is astronomically expensive for some unknown reason. So anyway, I mean, it's always been a little expensive, but I guess it's really bad. I just don't like Fabri-Tac, but there's no other reason I don't use it. I just don't like it. Trying to think, how do I want? Sorry, big sigh. nothing bad. Just how to do this next, right? I think it could fit one more, and there'd be. Oh, this one has 1, 2, 3. Yeah, and then we'll have 3 on this side too. I think I'll cut this one all the way open. So what we need to do is cut down the sides. Okay. I think I figured it out now. I was thinking I wanted them to open like books, which I would like that, but then there's not this back flap, you know, then it's gone if you cut it like that. But that won't work. So we're just going to do them like this. They'll still open all out so that you've got writing space, is what I was thinking. I was thinking I wanted more writing space than pockets, simply because if you filled all of these envelopes up with stuff, it probably would get just too thick. So I think you're better off having some as writing space. And I'm going to glue these down. You don't necessarily have to, especially, you know, because you're probably going to cover it with whatever. But it's just nice, then you don't have to worry about it catching on things. I mean, you can tear these off too. The only thing is, I know if I start tearing them off, I'll probably just rip the envelope open. So, rip a big hole in it. That won't be helpful, so I don't want to do that. But if that works for you, do that. Oh, my son's home. So I'm just going to come down here. Again, try to line it up, close it up so you can figure out, get it all in line before you press it down. You could have it go this way too. You can make it go this way. That might be fun, something different. Still doing videos.
Nice.
How was your movie?
It was good. You'd like that one.
Yeah, I thought I would. So this one will open out this way, and there's this envelope here and this envelope here that will get glued down when we cover it. And then we have, I don't want the cat right now. And then we have a pocket here and a pocket here, and these pages, you could flip this one the other way too, but I'm not going to do that. So yeah, I think these would be really fun. So that's all we're going to do today. And then once I figure out what in the world I'm going to cover it with, because I have no idea, I might just use scraps. Like, just use them up. Well, I'll never use them up. I could seriously wallpaper my walls and not use them up. But anyways, it would help. Anything helps. So that's what we're going to play with. So I hope you guys try it. I hope that wasn't too confusing. It's just really gluing flaps into these two main pockets. So glue your outside, whatever you choose to make your outside envelopes, glue those two together first. And then, you know, you can cut your envelopes however you want them. You can make them all pockets. If you want all pockets, make them all pockets. But I just thought that's not a very big spine, so I didn't want just pockets. But anyway, you do it how you want to do it. But I hope you try it with me and see what we end up with in the end. It might be kind of fun. I know, like I said, other people have done envelope journals, so this is not like my idea as far as that goes. It's just this particular one is my idea. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you again tomorrow. Love you guys. Bye.